Hi guys, welcome back to another Hugh Jeffries video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 most badly damaged smartphones I've purchased. These devices have been broken in such strange ways that they deserve to be on a top 5 list. It amazes me at what people can do to their smartphones. Some of these were recoverable, others not. Having fixed dozens of phones here on YouTube, the choice has been hard, but I really think these 5 show just how badly some people neglect their phones. Coming in at number 5 is a prime example of why glass shouldn't exist on the back of phones. This red iPhone 12 has a spiderweb style of cracks on the back, with the screen having grown a second notch and is filled with lines. Repairing this phone proved challenging. In fact, I'd say it's one of the hardest modern smartphones to repair. Not just with the software locks deterring third-party repair, but as most of it will require 4 types of screwdrivers with many different screw sizes that need to be removed and kept track of. And we can't forget a laser machine to remove the back glass from the phone. There is, however, an alternative to the laser machine, and that is to replace the entire rear housing, which honestly would be just about as complicated as doing this laser machine back glass removal. If you do go with the laser method as I am here, you can see I had to break away a lot of that glass, especially around the camera lens, where it was very stubborn as that glass goes underneath those camera lenses. The repair process created a mess to say the least, but after the old glass was removed, a new sheet could be applied and the phone could be reassembled with a new display. In the end, we're left with a functional iPhone 12 128GB. I later went on to add dual SIM capability to this 5G millimeter wave phone, which made it a model of iPhone you can't purchase. At number 4 on the list is the $8.50 iPhone XS. While I actually received 2 iPhone XS for the price, one was already in pieces. The other, well, it looks to have been run over by a lawnmower. With a serious snap to the frame, the whole phone was bent as a banana. Inside, it's not looking too good either. The battery was creased and the board was bent. Regardless, I went on to test the phone. I fitted a test screen that I knew worked onto the phone and was even able to get the phone to boot up. Unfortunately though, the touch didn't work. With the keyboard connected, you can see the phone is responsive, but the touch input isn't. The iPhone XS is composed of 2 layers. This touch issue is caused by those 2 layers becoming separated. While technically fixable with some advanced microsoldering, I wasn't capable of doing this, so the phone wasn't restored. While it might seem to some that I've fixed every crazy destroyed phone I've ever come across, that's just not the case. There are things out of my reach or that are too far gone, this phone being an excellent example. Number 3 is up next with the Virtue Austere, a $10,000 hand-built luxury phone that even contains a ruby gem on one of the side buttons. Virtue is known for making some of the most expensive smartphones on the planet, some containing diamonds and other rare gems. This one I've yet to cover in a video as a lack of available replacement parts. Its display is obliterated with a missing section on the top left. The whole phone is bent and falling apart. I am really curious on how this happened, but even more interested in who actually owned this phone. Disassembly is easy with visible screws all over the phone, and if I do ever source out any replacement parts for this phone, I'll be sure to cover the repair in a video. In second place is a $25 iPhone 11 Pro, which I dubbed the Moon Crater Edition. After my previous experience with the iPhone XS, my hopes were low for this poor phone. It looks as though its last owner really let some anger out on it, with the phone being crushed in, likely from a major impact such as a hammer. Even its display was missing, as it had been ripped from the phone. Before investing any money into it, I first attached a test display. To my amazement, it lit right up, and the phone appeared to be working under all that damage. So it was time to transplant all of the salvageable components into a new housing. A lot of components inside this phone came out quite bent. Things like the front-facing cameras I could easily bend back, but the rear-facing cameras, well, they were quite dented, and while still working, I had to replace them. This process, like most models of iPhone, is very time-consuming. The iPhone uses many more screws, brackets, and other components than a lot of other brands. Unfortunately, the Face ID module was damaged by the previous owner, a component only Apple can replace as it's locked to each iPhone. So that's one compromise with the outcome of this phone. But with all that hard work, we ended up with a brand new looking iPhone 11 Pro. While not perfect, this phone looks exceptional compared to what it was when I first got it. Taking the spot for the most destroyed phone is this Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. While the previous phones have all been badly smashed in one form or another, this phone has had a hole drilled all the way through it. But this phone wasn't ready to call it quits. Despite the hole, it still tried to power up, although was faced with corrupted software, preventing it from fully booting. Opening up the device, I could inspect the damage. Luckily, the last owner had decided to take out their anger through the camera and not the motherboard. This meant we had a good chance at saving this phone. Pulling the motherboard out, I could replace the camera module and install the motherboard into a new display assembly. While I had the chance, I also changed the phone's color to this beautiful prism green, which I really like the look of. I could then reattach the battery and install a new back panel. The Android software could be reinstalled, and with that, the S10 Plus was back in action. The phone was left completely unrecognizable and could be put back into use. So that's been my top 5 list on the most destroyed phones I've purchased. Let me know in the comments if you have come across any yourself. And on that note, this has been a Hugh Jeffries video. If you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button and consider checking out the restoration playlist for more videos just like this one. And if you're looking for any used devices, be sure to check out my online store, link for which is down in the description. That's all for this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.